Hello everyone. So today is going to be about a 30-minute flow, and I try to include like a variation of postures, some a little bit more advanced, some a little bit more beginner, and as you probably already know, any donations made for the class will be donated to Black organizations and nonprofits to support Black issues and communities, so donate if you can. But we'll go ahead and get started. So we will just be seated here about the top of your mat if you're practicing on the mat. And we'll just take a second to get comfortable in our seat, so you can have your legs however. And we'll start by taking our shoulders up by our ears and then rolling them back down the back. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Take a second to think about the core as well. So pulling your belly button up and in just slightly. Feeling a little bit of strength through the core. And then I like to rest with your hands on my knees, palms up. And if it feels comfortable, close down the eyes here. And we'll just start to lengthen out our breath, smooth it out. So we'll start by inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. As you inhale, expand your chest, feel it lift and rise. And we'll try to inhale for 3 and exhale for 3. So inhaling for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. It's kind of hard for me to count actually, so we'll all count in our head, but we'll take a few breaths together here. Inhaling for 3. Exhaling for 3. Now let's try 4. Exhale for 4. One more time with 4. Exhale for 4. And then on our next inhale, just starting to open up the eyes, fluttering your body back awake, and we will roll up the neck. So taking the left ear towards the left shoulder, really think about stretching and lengthening through the right side of your neck. Rolling it around, chin towards the chest, right ear to the right shoulder, lengthen through the left side. Roll it back around. Really trying to lengthen as you go through the sides and dropping your chin to your chest. And then go the other way. Make sure you go both ways. And just coming back to neutral, we'll take a few lateral bends. So left hand plants into the floor, pushing into the floor, push it away just a bit. Right arm comes up and over, spinning the pinky in. Spinning your chest, open it up to the ceiling. Same thing as the neck. Think about creating length on the right side instead of just bending over. Really trying to stretch out through that right side. And then switch it out. Right hand plants, push into the floor slightly. Left arm comes up and over. Find length through that left side. And letting that go, we'll find a soft vinyasa. Pushing our hips back. Coming to the top. Little bend in the elbows. Pull the heart through here. And then to tabletop. So shoulders right over the wrists. Hips right over the knees here. And we'll take a few cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly, pull your chest through the shoulders. Exhale, push the floor, round the back, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, cow pose, pull the chest through, drop the belly. Exhale, cat, tuck the tailbone, push through. And then just move through a few more at your pace, linking the movement with the breath. And then we'll just come back to a neutral spine here and start to warm up the wrists. So we'll just rock back and forth first, really gripping through your fingertips and pushing down through the inner part of your hand. You really don't want to go to the outer edge and have your the inner part of your palm lift. So really pushing through the inner part, the fingertips, trying to work those shoulders towards the wrist or over the wrist or maybe even past if you can, pushing to the floor. And then we'll take the fingertips out, wrists in, rocking back and forth again, pushing to the inner part of the hand, gripping to the fingertips. And then we'll try and take the fingertips all the way around towards us, if that feels all right. You can do one hand at a time because it's pretty intense, or two. Wherever you're at, keep a little bend, micro bend in the elbows here, if you hyperextend like me. And then we'll just peel our palms up off the mat, again pushing through the fingertips, stretching out the fingers and the wrists. And then fingertips back to the top, and we'll tuck the toes under, start to lift the hips, downward facing dog. So hips are the apex of the pose. You want your hips as high as you can go, creating length in the low back. So if you need to bend into the knees or walk the feet in, feel free. And then think about wrapping your triceps back and under, so your elbows aren't going out to the side. Wrap them in and under here as you're in your down dog. And then we'll take an inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, start to walk your feet towards the hands as close as you can get them. Inhale all the way up, watch the fingertips touch. Exhale, swan dive, fold over the legs. Inhale, flat back, touch something, pull the shoulder blades down. Exhale, plant the hands. We'll step back to a modified plank this first round. So shoulders over the wrists, pushing to the floor. Tuck the tailbone slightly, and then we'll lower to the belly. Elbows brush the sides of the ribs all the way down. From here, pushing into the tops of the feet, lift the chest, roll the shoulder heads back. Cobra pose. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. We'll go through two more of those. It's called a sun A, or it's a little part of a sun A. So on the next two rounds, I'll give some little bit harder variations. Feel free to take whichever ones feel more comfortable for you. So inhale, look to the top. Exhale, stepping your feet in again towards the hands. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, flat back, roll the shoulder heads back. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, you can stick with the modified plank or full plank. Same thing, push to the floor, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the legs. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Pushing into the tops of the feet for a cobra pose again, or just the tops of the feet and the hands touch, up dog. Pull your chest through, push into the floor. Exhale, back, downward facing dog and that. Keep scooting. One last time. Inhale, look to the top. Exhale, step your feet all the way to the top. Inhale, fingertips touch. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping back, full plank or modified plank. You can lower to the belly again, or you can try to go 90 degrees, elbows hug in, brush the ribs. Find your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll start to drop the knees down from down dog. Walk the hands back, going towards broken toe. So toes are tucked under, stretching out our toes and our feet. If it's too intense, you can sit on the tops of the feet instead, like this. But if you want the toe stretch, sitting back here. We'll interlace the fingers, flip the palms up to the ceiling. Take an inhale, reach the palms up, tuck in your low ribs. Exhale, pull the hands back. Try to keep your low ribs tucked in as you pull the hands back. You might not be able to get the hands back as far. If you bow the ribs out, you can really reach the hands back, but we're gonna try and keep our core tight and then pull the hands back. Inhale, push your hands out in front of you, round the back. So think about pushing your hands away around the back. Inhale, tuck in the low ribs and pull the hands back. That was an exhale, sorry. This is the inhale, push your hands forward, round the back. Exhale, pull the hands away, try to keep the ribs tucked in. One last time, inhale, exhale. Letting that go. I know your toes are probably really screaming at you. Slap your feet out, shake it out. We're back in tabletop. Sorry, my mat's crooked. Okay, we're back in tabletop. From here, right leg extends behind us. We're gonna pull the chest through. Find that cow pose. Exhale, pull the knee to the nose, push to the floor. Inhale, pull the chest through, drop the belly. Exhale, push to the floor, make space. for the knee to come through. One last time, inhale. Exhale, around the back, pull it in. And then we'll take that right leg to the back of the mat, swing the left toes around, open it up, modified side arm balance. Trying to lift through your side body here. Thinking about a rainbow shape on your side. Exhale, push out the left hand. We're going to gate pose. Right hand slides down the right leg. Left arm comes up and over. Spin your chest, open it up. Back to the modified side arm balance. From here, we're gonna lift the right leg behind, trying to hover it off the ground if you can. We wanna try and get it parallel to the floor, but if you can only hover here, that's totally fine. And then we'll swing that right foot around to the top. So think about pulling the knee to the chest, swing your foot around. So we're in a lunge at the top of the mat. Taking the arms up, modified crescent, tucking those ribs again. Keeping the core slightly engaged. Exhale, fold over the right leg, half splits. Try to keep the hip over the knee so you're not back here. It makes it a lot easier. This will help you feel the stretch a little better. Inhale, back up, half splits. Knee right over the ankle. Exhale. Did I say half splits that time? Okay, we're in half splits now. Inhale up, modified crescent one last time. Exhale, half splits. Had to do it one more time. And then we'll walk it forward, heel toeing. Your right foot will come out to the edge of your mat like this. And we'll roll onto the outside of the foot. But you'll have your hands down here. So we're in lizard. So rolling onto the outside of the foot. Try to push your hips down and forward. Pull your chest through. If you want a little more, you can open up, taking your right hand to the inner thigh, so it'll be right here. Pushing the thigh out, or the knee out a little bit more, not pushing on the knee though, and spinning the chest open. If you want even more, reaching for the top of the foot, quad stretch. And then letting that go, we'll take both hands back to the center, lift the back knee, step it in just a little bit, and we'll set that back heel down. The toes are about 45-degree angle. And then we'll heel toe the right foot back in so it's in line with the hip, and you'll have both legs straight. Think about pulling back on that right hip. So you don't want your hips open. You want to square into the front of your mat. We're looking for a stretch on the back of the right leg. So if you need to come up onto the thigh or the shin, avoid the knee, feel free. And then taking your fingertips or whatever you can get to the floor, push off the back foot, step the feet together. We're in a forward fold. Take a ragdoll first, grabbing onto the elbows, just hanging over the legs here. Getting nice and heavy, maybe a little sway side to side. And then we'll twist, so planting or bending the right knee, plant the right fingertips or the right hand, whatever you can get there. And then left arm will open up to the ceiling. Spinning your chest open. Switch it out, bending into the left knee, planting the left hand, right arm comes up. Spin the chest open. And then we'll come back to the fold, and we're gonna come through chair, so taking your arms, sweeping them up to the ears, tucking those low ribs again, especially here. If you open up through the ribs, everything's gonna be in your low back. So really focus on pulling those ribs in, sink your butt behind the heels here. Trying to get the weight into the heels. Exhale, let it go, fold it over the legs, and then your vinyasa, whether you liked going through the modified plank to the belly, or taking the chaturanga, whatever it is for you, moving through it. And we'll come back to downward facing dog. Once we get there, gotta move to the other side, so dropping the knees down, we'll come to tabletop again. This time, left leg will extend behind us. Same thing on the last side, pull the chest through. Exhale, pull the knee in, push through the floor. Inhale, take the leg back, pull the chest through. Exhale, push to the floor, crunch the knee in. Last time, inhale. Exhale, really round the upper back, pull the knee in. Left leg will go behind us to the back of the mat. Right toes swing around. Opening up, again, lifting through the side body. You don't want your hips to be down here. You want to really lift. And then we'll push off the right hand, gate pose, left arm, left hand side's on the left leg. Spinning your right pinky in, opening the chest up. Back to the modified side arm balance. And we'll try and hover that back leg again, wherever you can get it off the ground. Maybe you can get it even more than horizontal, super hard, or more than, horizontal, more than parallel. And then we'll pull the left knee into the chest, swing around, so we're in a lunge at the top, that modified crescent again. Sweep the arms up, tuck in the low ribs. Exhale, half split, fold over the left leg. Trying to keep your back nice and long. You don't want to round out through the back. Pull the chest through, so if you need to lift up, totally fine. Inhale, back up, modified crescent. Exhale, fold. One last time, inhale up. Exhale, fold over the leg. And then walking it forward, heel toe the left foot out, go into lizard. You can stick here, both hands in the middle, pulling the chest through. Or open up for the twist. Left hand goes to the thigh, pushing the knee or pushing the leg away. Or even more, you can grab for the back of the foot, pull it in, quad stretch. And then coming back to the center, lifting up the back knee, hop it in, hop the foot in just a little bit so you can get your heel to the floor, toes slightly turn out, heel to the other foot in, both legs straight, pyramid. So if the last time you lifted up, just come up to the thigh or the shin, or if you can get your hands to the floor. Flat back again. And then we'll push off the back foot, step it in, so we're in a forward fold. This time we'll take our forward fold a little different. We're gonna find a deep bend in the knees. Compress your body in half, so your belly touches your thighs here. Compress your body in half. And then we'll try and straighten the legs from here. And as you straighten your legs, try to keep your belly connected to the thighs. You might find you can't really straighten out too much. It's a little bit different because we're actually floating through the hip here and compressing. Instead of a lot of times we just think, oh, I gotta get my head to my knees, but we're rounding out through our back so much. So let's actually compress through the center of our body here. Less strain on the low back. And then we'll come through chair. Squeeze the legs together, drop the hips behind the heels, tuck in the low ribs. And again, think about the weight into the heels. So if you can get your toes to flop up, I don't know if you can see me wiggling my toes there, but trying to get the weight all the way into your heels. Exhale, let it go. Fold over the legs, your vinyasa back to downward facing dog, whatever that is. Once we get back to down dog, we're going right into the next flow. So right leg will fly, take it up and back. Try to square up your hips, try not to open up through your hips. Try to keep your hips leveled off. So you want to think about spinning that right thigh in towards the left. Rock forward, push through the floor. Right knee towards the nose, set the foot down. We'll open it up. Warrior two, spinning your back foot flat. Push into the outer edge of the foot. Bend deep in your right knee. Flip your front palm, reverse. Left hand slides down the left leg. Exhale, side angle. You can take the elbow to the knee or hands to the floor. Spin the chest, open it up. Two more, inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Keep the same shape with your legs as you move through. One more. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Whichever variation you like. And then we'll come back up through our warrior two. Straighten out both legs. Pigeon toe your feet, turn them in. If you're more flexible, you'll want to take your legs a little closer together. You're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. If you are less flexible, take your legs further apart. Either way, we'll hinge at the hips. Fold here. Again, if you need to bend into the knees because it's too much on your back, bend into the knees. And then we'll try and fold over the legs, either getting the hands or the fingertips to the floor here. After a few more breaths, we're going to go for a twist. Really trying to fold at the hip again. And then either right fingertips or hands to the floor, left arm will fly to the ceiling. Try to keep the twist in your core, so squaring off your hips again. Switch it out, left hand plants, right arm flies, twisting through the core. Let that go, and then we'll come to goddess next. So toes out this time, heels in, sinking down into your goddess pose. when you're a goddess, I'm going to turn this side so we can see. You don't want to stick your butt out too much. Try and tuck your booty under, sink down, sit up nice and tall. You're a goddess. Toes pointing out to the knees pointing out to the toes. And then we'll take the hands to the thighs. Right shoulder drops in the middle, get a little twist. Left shoulder. One more time, each side, right. And then left. Coming back through goddess just for a second. I know I've been holding for a long time. Try to sink a little bit deeper. And then straighten out your legs. We'll cartwheel around to the front here. Stepping back to a full plank or a modified plank. And we'll just hold for a second. Trying to get the shoulders right over the wrists. Same thing here as down dog. Wrap your triceps back. Hug those upper arms in. Tuck the tailbone. Again, pull the low ribs in. From here, we're lowering down onto the belly. Once we get there, we'll go for a little half frog. So I'm gonna just show on the left side because you can't see the right side as well. So you're gonna slide your right leg out, 90-degree angle with the leg. You can stay here in the center, working the half frog, or if you want a little extra, taking the right shoulder blade to the floor, left arm comes around to the other side. You want to be able to rest on your head here in this twist. And then coming back to the center, letting that go. Slide your left or your right leg back behind you, and we're gonna come back to downward facing dog. So we're gonna push all the way up to our plank or our modified plank. So shoulders right under the wrists, tuck the toes, engage the legs before you even leave. So you see how my thighs lift up? Engage the legs, squeeze the quads. Big inhale at the bottom, unless you're pushing through the knees to get to your modified plank. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, push up, all the way up, and then we'll just come right back. Downward facing dog. Once we get there, we're gonna start to walk our hands to the back of the mat here. Turning your toes out, yogi squat. So this is yogi squat from the front. You're trying to sink your butt to the floor while your heels are on the floor. If that's not for you, you can always keep the heels up off the ground. So elbows pushing to the inner thighs. Again, think about trying to pull your chest through, straighten out your back. You don't want to round the back and your knees to come in. Open up, pull the chest through here. And we'll just hang out in yogi squat for a second. Trying to get nice and low. Give ourselves a moment to reconnect with the breath we had at the beginning of the class. Nice and long. And then when you're ready, we will waddle to the middle of the mat. So if it hurts your knees too much to waddle down low, you can lift up and waddle, or you can waddle nice and low. Waddle, and then we'll come to the butt, either using your hands for support or your hands rock back. We're going for boat pose. So to find my boat pose, I like to grab onto my shins. Again, open up the chest, thinking about compression, thighs to the belly. So I try to squeeze my body together as much as I can with a nice long back. Lean back, find that point where you can balance. And then take my hands off the legs. If I feel good there, play around with lifting my feet. Maybe I can extend them all the way up. Just play around with it. You don't want to be too rounded through your low back. Just always keep that in mind. One more breath here. And then we'll lower down, trying to hit our low boat. Shoulders barely off the ground, feet barely off the ground, and then we'll let it all the way down. Once we come onto our backs, pulling the feet in, we're going for a bridge pose. So just lifting the hips, squeezing the glutes, making sure the feet and the legs are parallel to protect the knees here, and the low back. So again, squeezing the glutes, pull the heels back towards you to help engage your hamstrings and your glutes a little bit more. And think about trying to push it towards your upper back and your shoulders, and not so much your low back. And then we'll slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time, coming back down onto your back. And when we get there, just a little windshield wiper. Take the knees back and forth, get a little bit of a twist through the spine. And when you're ready, we'll roll up to a seat. Find a soft and you also come back to down dog. So pushing the hips back, hands come to the top of the mat. A little bend in the elbows, pull the heart through. Coming back to down dog. Once we get there, we gotta go to the other side. Left leg will fly. Bringing it forward towards the nose. Again, you gotta really push through the floor so the foot has room to come through and step between the hands. You might find yourself kind of lifting the palms or something, that's okay. That's just want to work towards keeping the palms flat as we come forward. That will come with time. Oh gosh. Either way, we're going to warrior two. So again, bend deep into front knee, push into the outer edge of the back foot. Flip the front palm reverse, right hand slides down the right leg. Left arm comes up and over. Exhale, elbow to the knee or hand to the floor. Inhale, reverse. Keep the same shape with the legs as you move through. Exhale, side angle. One last time. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle, whichever variation. And then from here, we'll come back up. Warrior two, straighten it out. Pigeon toe the feet. And we'll fold again, turn this way this time so you can kind of see the forward fold from a different angle. So again, pigeon toe the feet. For this one, we'll try and interlace our fingers, our hands behind the back. Pull or puff up your chest here. So you're pulling your chest through, and then we'll hinge and fold like this. You can always do this holding like a towel between your hands or a t-shirt or something. If you can't connect the hands, folding over the legs. Think about pulling your hands up to the ceiling while you're down here. And then we'll let that go. And just folding over the legs one last time. Again, if you want to take a little ragdoll here, if that feels good for you. You can always use your hands for support in this fold. But from your wide-legged forward fold, we'll turn the toes out, heels in, coming through goddess again. Try to sink nice and low, sit up nice and tall. Pull that belly button up and in, trying to sink down. From here, trying to hold your goddess, or we'll take the hands behind the head. Turn this way so you can see it. And we'll try and take one elbow to the knee, other elbow to the knee. You don't have to go all the way down to the knee. You can always just go about halfway, whatever feels good. But we'll go 4 more, 3 more, 2, 1. Nice, guys. Straighten out. Cartwheel around to the front. Your left foot will be at the top. Cartwheel around to the front. Plant the hands, step back, full plank or modified plank, whatever feels good for you. Lowering down onto the belly here. And we'll go for that half frog twist again. So this time sliding the left knee out to the side. I'll be doing my right this time because I did it backwards. So right knee slides out. Nope, left knee, just did that. And then right shoulder to the floor. If you want the twist, right arm sweeps across the ceiling. Trying to rest on your head if you can. You don't want to just be straining your neck here. And then letting that go, undoing the twist, coming back to the center. And again, we're going to try and push all the way up to plank or modified plank. So taking an inhale at the bottom, setting yourself up. Inhale, and then big exhale, push all the way up. From here, back to down dog. Push it back. And then walking back to yogi squat. One last time, sink down. Try to pull the chest through, sit up nice and tall. And then we'll waddle into the middle again. Waddle through, set your butt down on the ground. And we'll try our high boat one last time here. So rocking back, trying to pull your thighs to your belly. Find that little spot where you can balance. Sit up nice and tall. 2 breaths. 1 more. Lower down through low boat. Try to hit it for a second, and then onto the back. Once we get there, it's like a happy baby. So reaching through the legs for the outsides of the feet. Trying going to pull the knees down to the floor while you keep your low back on the floor. Again, think about it's kind of the same motion in yogi squat, trying to like pull your chest through and keep your back nice and flat and long. And then we'll slowly let that go, bringing the soles of the feet together. This is the shape here with the legs called Baddha Konasana, but we'll just take it lying down here, letting the knees fall wide. And we'll start to finish out here and find our Shavasana. So if you want to keep the legs like this, feel free. Otherwise, just extending your feet to the corners of your mat, letting your feet fall, be nice and relaxed, palms face up. And just closing down the eyes again if it's comfortable. And like at the beginning, trying to lengthen your breath out, slow it down. I imagine it's probably changed in the last 30 seconds, the last 30 minutes of our practice. So trying to just smooth it out again and regulate it. And we're in Shavasana, which means corpse pose, so just letting your practice die here and just letting go of the practice, anything you could or couldn't do. And then letting go of that control of your breath if you were trying to control it there and lengthen it. And just letting it go back to normal. And then slowly we'll start to wiggle our fingers and toes. If you want to take a longer Shavasana, feel free, pause the video, but we'll wiggle the fingers and toes, starting to wake the body up, roll out the wrists and the ankles, and just slowly finding your way up to a seat. The eyes closed down, hands at heart center, and a little prayer pose, or prayer hands. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. And as always, thank you for allowing me to share my practice with you and for you to take a little time out of your day to share your practice with me. Thank you guys.